Yo, what is up guys? Happy Monday. Hopefully everyone is having a great start to the week so far. So I want to make this quick video to answer this really honestly pretty common question. So this is basically how you can manage your calories and macros whenever mom cooks dinner for you, your parents cook dinner for you, your wife cooks dinner for you, your girlfriends, your brother, your sister, whoever. When other people are cooking meals for you, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, you never know what they're going to be putting inside, right? So when I used to live at home, I had to go through this exact same situation. So I want to quickly read through this question and then answer it in as much depth as I can. So Juan asked me, I'm very close with my family, which is awesome, dude. So am I. And my mom and sister are coming to visit me for the week. She doesn't really get to cook anymore when she's home. So she wanted to cook big family meals while she's out here. She has an idea for the meals she wants to make, but I just know for most of them, they're not going to fit into my calories and macros. Any tips for eating for the week? So yeah, super common question. And again, like I mentioned, when I used to live at home, I had to navigate through this as well a bit more appropriately. So first thing that I kind of want you to do, Juan, and anyone else is in this situation, is just communicate with your mom and your sister and your family members, right? Because I assume that they know that you're on your health and fitness journey, and they know that you specifically have already lost 70 or 80 pounds already. So they know that you're on this fitness journey, right? So just let them know about your health and fitness goals, right? And also just how important this is to you, right? And so they actually might be willing to make some small little adjustments to some of maybe the recipes just to make them more macro friendly, or they might just be more supportive of your choices and help you find alternatives. And so oftentimes, at least what my mom used to do, she'd add sticks of butter, olive oil, because ultimately she just wants the food to taste good, right? And I don't blame her. Same thing with chefs at restaurants, they don't really care about the calories and macros. They just care about making the food as tasty as possible. But similarly, when you go to a restaurant, be hey, can you maybe not add as much butter, or maybe add the sauce on the side, or maybe can you grill this instead of deep frying it, right? If you ask, you'd be surprised. A lot of people are actually willing to help you with that, right? But if you don't communicate with them, if you don't tell them, it's they don't know and they're not going to do it for you. So yeah, communicate with them. And second thing here, this is so important, guys, is plan ahead. So make sure you plan out your meals either for the week or at least for the day, because this allows you to balance out your macros and calories throughout the day, which also ensures that you have enough room for the larger meals in the evening, right? Because I assume that your mom wants to cook, obviously, dinner, which is at nighttime. And so what I personally used to do is I used to keep my breakfast, lunch, and snacks leading up to dinner purposely light, lower in calories. And on top of that, the third point here, I'd keep the meals also high in protein, right? So I'd keep the carbs and fats a bit lower, and then I'd almost double up on the protein intake, because not only is protein super important for muscle growth and muscle repair, it also is the most satiating macronutrient, which basically means that it can help you feel fuller for longer and more satisfied while keeping your overall calorie intake in check, right? So I'd have maybe a protein shake for breakfast, or a protein smoothie with some protein powder, some frozen berries, which by the way are the lowest calorie food you can get, maybe with some almond milk or some water, whatever. I'd have that, drink it up. That'll keep you nice and full for the morning. And then maybe lunchtime, I maybe have some canned tuna. I used to have canned tuna all the time when I was a student, and I was on a budget and stuff. Or you can have maybe some egg whites, or maybe just some chicken, some beef, whatever, with a salad or something, a couple protein bars, a bit more protein powder, protein shakes, whatever. And then once dinner does come, you actually have already hit most of your protein intake, which is awesome, while saving a bunch of calories for later on at night, right? So now what this allows you to do is allows you to honestly eat a pretty decent serving of whatever your mom cooks for you. I don't really know what she makes or what she cooks, but you can actually eat this almost guilt-free, because you know that you've kept your calories a bit lower, right? And then once dinner time comes around, you maybe have an extra 1,000 calories to spare to eat whatever you want for mom's dinner, right? So this is a great strategy. I do this all the time whenever either I'm traveling, or I know that I am going to go out to a restaurant later on that night, or maybe when I am at home to go visit and my mom is going to be making some delicious dinner for me, then I'm just going to prepare ahead of time, right? Third tip here is, like I mentioned to you here, keep meals light before dinner. So opt for lighter meals and snacks throughout the day to save more room for the bigger family dinners. So this might include, like I mentioned to you guys, some salads or some lean proteins like chicken breast or fish or tuna, some vegetable stir fries. This is also a go-to of mine, or some protein smoothies like you could have for breakfast, right? And now another added thing that you can do on top of this is consider intermittent fasting, right? So if it does align with your preferences and your lifestyle, intermittent fasting can be a useful strategy for managing your caloric intake during family gatherings, right? That's another personal thing that I like to do personally. Not even if something like this is going to happen. I just do this because like I actually enjoy it, right? It helps me stick to my overall daily caloric intake a lot easier. And I also find for myself personally that I'm not a huge breakfast eater either. So it's like, I'd rather save my calories for actually like when I actually am hungry, as opposed to eating when I'm not even that hungry. And I also notice that like eating first thing in the morning just kind of like slows me down, makes me sluggish. Like when I wake up, I want to like go attack, get straight to work. And then once I get hungry, I'll eat a meal, which is usually around 11 a.m., sometimes noon, sometimes even 1 if I'm really busy. So that's something I do personally, and it's a great way to kind of like save more calories for later on at night. Now, before you ask me, no, there's nothing special or magical about intermittent fasting. It simply just decreases your eating window. So instead of regularly, maybe you would typically eat breakfast at 8 a.m. and your last meal is at around 8 p.m. That's a 12-hour feeding window, right? Whereas if you do intermittent fasting, what this allows you to do is basically decrease the eating window. So instead of eating at 8 a.m., now maybe you eat at noon, at 12 p.m., right? So now your eating window is only 8 hours. And basically what this allows you to do is actually enjoy larger meals or larger portions in a shorter time frame. So if you're a big eater like myself, this is something you can definitely consider, especially if you're on like a fat loss phase, you're in a calorie deficit. It can definitely help you just kind of like sit within your calories and macros a lot easier as well, right? And then last thing here, guys, is just be mindful of portion sizes. So when eating your family meals, practice portion control. So fill your plate with a balanced mix of protein, carbs, and fats. Ideally, load up on the protein as well, obviously. But be mindful of just portion sizes to avoid overeating, right? I know sometimes, like, especially like, for example, like this part right here, intermittent fasting, I know a lot of people cannot really do this because as soon as they break their fast, like have their first meal, they just end up like eating a bunch of food and they just binge on their diet, and then the intermittent fasting was almost like a waste, right? So if you know that you kind of like can't control yourself when you break your fast when intermittent fasting, don't do it, right? I know so many successful people that still have like regular breakfast, like as soon as they wake up, lunch, dinner, snacks, and just have like smaller meals spread out evenly throughout the day, and they're still losing fat, right? Whereas I know other people that enjoy intermittent fasting and they're also still losing fat, right? Because the biggest determining factor here is just being in a calorie deficit. If you eat less calories than you burn, you're going to lose weight, right? And so it doesn't really matter how you do it. You can eat 1 meal a day, you could eat 2 meals a day, you could eat 7 meals a day. It doesn't matter. Now, if we live in an ideal world, it's like, yes, try to space out your meals evenly throughout the day, 4 to 6 meals, right? Just to keep the muscle protein synthesis elevated all the time throughout the day, just so you're not going through periods in like the day, for example, when you're slightly in a catabolic state. But overall, guys, if you hit your protein goals, you hit your calorie goals, you'll be absolutely fine. So there's no right or wrong way to do things. As long as you stay mindful during this period, you're absolutely good to go. So one of the things before I kind of wrap up this quick little video, just remember that it's important to find a balance between like actually enjoying time with your family and also staying on track with your fitness goals, right? So with some planning and mindful eating, you can definitely navigate the week or the day without derailing your progress. And now if you do need any further assistance or guidance, don't hesitate to reach out, obviously, right? And then the final thing here is memories over macros. Like I recently went on vacation and I'd still like I follow these tips, but like for the most part, like whether it's like you're on vacation or your mom's cooking dinner for you, you're visiting back at home, you miss your mom's baking, whatever. It's like sometimes like just putting your fitness goals on hold, like it's not the end of the world, right? Like one cheat meal, one bad day of eating, even like an entire week of eating is not going to like ruin all your progress, right? Like again, it's what you do over a consistent period of time that's going to dictate your long-term results. And so having a bit more food whenever your mom comes in town to go visit, or whenever you're visiting like your grandparents or whoever it may be, and you want to like eat your favorite childhood food again, like go ahead and eat it, right? It's like fitness is it's there to like enhance your life and not take over your life. So yeah, just keep this in mind. This is really important, guys. Memories over macros. Don't be too neurotic with this. Don't bring out your food skill. Don't do anything crazy. You open up the MyFitnessPal app. Like don't do any of that, right? Like again, like these are really special moments, and it's like you don't want to just always like be like 100% on top of your fitness goals. Like no, like there's a time when we go, there's also a time to like relax and enjoy. So hopefully all that made sense. If you do have any questions for me, please let me know, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace. Now, if you want to be around a community of like-minded people just like yourself who will educate you, motivate you, and inspire you to absolutely demolish your health and fitness goals, come join the Barbarian Squad down below. I guarantee you, you will not regret it one single bit, and I'll see you inside.